All right. Let's see if this thing's rolling here. Oh, there we go. I was looking at the thing. It says live, but nothing was going. So, how is everybody this evening? Welcome, welcome. So, we're going to talk about Are You Safe? We're going to be talking about that tonight. And so, we're going to go over actually, there's a bunch of different things that I want to talk about, and we will get to them shortly. But before we get started, I would just like to remind everybody really early in the beginning of this always that if we have any issues, technical issues where YouTube boots us off of here, I will get right back on right away. So you may not get notification for it. You may have to look for it, but I will definitely get back on as soon as I possibly can. So definitely, look for me. Again, a lot of people are still not getting notifications and stuff. And people are like, oh, well, you need to switch platforms. You need to go here. You need to go there. Listen, it's just part of the game that you have to play. Okay. That's what it comes down to with YouTube. I've been doing this long enough. I know. So you just have to deal with it, unfortunately. All right. I didn't kill my volume on my phone yet. So hold on. Here we go. Also, I would like to remind people that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel, so I would ask people to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness, with each other or especially against me. But anyway, just be decent. If you can't follow those simple rules, my moderators that you see lit up there in blue, they will boot you out of here because we're just not going to tolerate it because there's no place for it. We want to have a good discussion, share information. I definitely like to hear your feedback. And I had somebody today. I always have to mention these things because I get very amused by these things. Somebody had said, and of course I deleted their comment because they asked me to at the end, actually. So I'm like, well, absolutely. I will absolutely delete your comment. They were like, you don't want, constructive criticism. You just want people to tell you how great you are. Not at all. I have no problem with constructive criticism at all. People can have their opinions. They can say whatever they want to say is fine. But if you act like a jerk when you say it, I'm not leaving your comment up there. That's just how it goes. Okay. It's just like, and I'll give a good example. A lot of people have said, oh, you need to put stones in the water or the chicks will drown and all this type of stuff, right? The last chicks that I had, I basically used a bowl as well for them. Nobody drowned. Nobody has drowned this time. So again, people can do, and actually it is never asked for criticism. Yeah, a lot of it is not asked for. You're right. You're right. But people were like, oh, put stones in the water or they could drown and stuff like that. They're not. They're fine. So again, I appreciate the advice. I do. I take everything in. I read. I want you guys to realize. I don't always reply to every comment. Obviously, I don't anymore. I can't. Way too many comments. Way too many other things going on. But I do read every single comment. So I always do that just because I think it's important, to keep abreast of what is going on and stuff like that. So I do that. But again, I can't get to every comment. I had somebody else emailed me or messaged me or something. I can't remember if it was an email or if it was in a comment. And they were like, some person was over on Grim Survival saying that I'm a hoarder, not a prepper. Realistically, I don't care. I don't care because probably that person that made that comment does absolutely nothing. So, there's an old saying, opinions are like a-holes. Everybody has one, and that's great. That's fantastic. You know what I mean? It just, people want to bash me, they can bash me. It's okay. I got a thick skin, like I said. It doesn't matter to me. You want to call me a hoarder? That's fine. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me. I am going to be ready for when the time comes, and that's it, period. And when that time comes, they're going to be like, oh, my God, he wasn't so stupid after all. Imagine that. But that's, that is how it goes. So before we get into everything, I do want to bring this up really quickly. The needy homesteader. Okay. If you guys, JJ, if you could put their link in the chat, please, on the video. She just did a video March 2nd, and they were in a horrific automobile accident. Her husband was killed. She was really severely injured. Both of her kids that were in the car with them were also injured. Really, really bad situation. That Lady Kickboxers got it up there, the GoFundMe account. Yep. And that was what I was going to talk about too. So they have a GoFundMe account to help support the family. And the last that I looked at it, it was up to 191,000. And people may go, well, that's a lot of money. They'll be fine. You got to understand something. Number one, they got to bury their father, husband, all that. He's got to be buried. They have bills that are still going to come in. His income is now gone. So there, JJ's put it up right now. The needy homesteader. So she has a link in her last video that she put up to their GoFundMe account. I have made a donation. I would ask all of you, if you can, whatever you can do, if you can go over there and help a little bit, because that's why we are Legion. That's why we are many. We're a huge family. And to be able to support and help each other in a situation like that is why we're here. We're in a position where we can really help somebody, and that's a situation that through no fault of their own, they were hit head on by a drunk driver. What's wrong with Heather? Nothing's wrong with Heather. Why would you think something was wrong with Heather? I don't know what that's about. Heather's in school. She's living with her boyfriend. She's doing very, very well, actually. So just so anybody knows. If you can't donate, watch her videos with the commercial. It all helps. That's another good point, Case. Case Richmond just said that. But again, like I said, I did go over and I made a donation myself. And I think that, like I said, if we can do it, if you can help, I think it's a good thing. And, it's going to help them out in that time of need. And, we've all been there. Everybody's had something happen, but to have something like that happen, the needy homesteader's name is Heather as well. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Well, my daughter's name is Heather, guys. Sorry, I didn't know what you were talking about. Yes. She was that. Okay, Heather is the lady from the needy homesteader. I got you. I'm sorry. She was in a very severe automobile accident. They were hit head on by a drunk driver. After they were coming home from a dinner, and I think they said the restaurant closed at like 8, so it wasn't like they were out on the road late or anything like that. This guy was just drunk. They think he said he blew like a 3.4, which is like if you're at a 4.0, you're gonna die from alcohol poisoning. So that's how drunk this person was. I got you now. I understand, guys. I apologize. So, but she's pretty messed up, and she is convalescing right now. They got her in a rehab center, in a nursing home. Her kids can't even come in and visit her, which again, that whole stuff with that really makes me sick, to be honest with you. Very, very sad situation. And, her kids are really, they're traumatized. I mean, think about it. Their father's been killed. Their mother's severely messed up, and she's in a nursing home right now recovering. And, they can't even go in there and hug her. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, so I wanted all of us, the Legion of Prepper Nurse One people, to go and show some support. I think it's important. Okay. The drunk driver walked away from the accident, she said. Well, of course he did. What you got to understand, guys, and I want you to think about this, is really, really simple. I was in an automobile, the last automobile accident I was in. Stone sober, okay, but I never saw the car. And they asked me at the hospital, when they took me to the hospital, I had whiplash pretty bad. I had no physical injuries, other than like the whiplash on my neck. There was not even a mark from the seatbelt on me. And I remember them asking me at the hospital, did you have your seatbelt on? And I went, oh yeah, always. I always wear my seatbelt. The difference is, and I'm going to tell you, this is why drunks survive these type of accidents and they're fine and they walk away or not injured very badly. It's because they're relaxed. They're not. When you are driving and all of a sudden something's coming and you're going to get hit, what do? You tense up. That's what people do. We tense up because that's just, that's a natural reaction. But if you could not tense up and just go totally relaxed, the chances of you being injured are a lot less. Now, obviously, that's not a realistic expectation when you're about to be hit, but but yeah, they're very relaxed. Drunks are relaxed. They don't care. They don't see it coming, and That's why they don't they don't do that, and they're fine. My former brother-in-law hit a telephone pole at they said 100 miles an hour, I think is what they said. Drunk out of his mind, thrown from the car. I think he was thrown from the car, and I mean, he had a laceration on his head, uh, cuts and bruises. They took him to the hospital, but he was completely fine. And again, that's why. That's why, because they're relaxed. They're not worried about nothing. They don't tense up. So that's unfortunately what happens with that. That's unfortunately how it goes. So, but anyway, like I said, we could support each other, and I think it's a good cause to help. You know, what's the North Shore Preparedness? Could you throw that link up there again? Marie Beers was asking what the link was again for the GoFundMe account. So yeah, if you guys could put that up there a couple times, JJ as well. The link to their channel. And again, if you watch the last video that they did, of course, and the drunk was not insured. Of course, he wasn't. So that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But again, if you guys could throw that link up there again, thank you both of you for doing that. And if you go to their home or their channel, the GoFundMe account is in their last video that they just did. And like I said, it's a good thing, I think, to help support that. She's gonna need a long rehabilitation. I watched the video and it broke my heart. I never heard of the channel before. I'll be honest with you. Never heard of them. There's so many channels out there. It is ridiculous. Did you hear about the verdict for the Toronto van attack? Guilty. The defense had tried to use his autism as an excuse. Guilty. Autism is not an excuse. No, autism is never an excuse. Not an excuse at all. So, but yeah. So anyway, so let's talk about a couple of different things that are going on here, guys. Well, before we do get started here, let me just do this. We're at 842 in the chat. We're at 295 on the thumbs up. Real quick, if you could shoot a thumbs up, I would appreciate that to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we do have, the better it is for the channel. It's up to 198,000 now. That's awesome. Yep. So, and also, again, the third reason is I like to see a lot of thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, all right. So a couple of things going on. So we'll talk about this one first since JJ put it up there. It was one of the things I was going to talk about. There's a couple other things too. We had another missile attack, a rocket attack on a base in Iraq. I think there was like 10 rockets that were fired onto the U.S. base. And, we had retaliated, or Biden had retaliated, I should say, in Syria for the last thing. And they were saying, oh, yeah, that should calm things down. Well, they've attacked again. Nobody was killed in the attack, but there was one contractor that ended up having a heart attack and died afterwards. So, but not good at all, not good at all. And will this accelerate? I've talked about this before, and I'm going to say this again. War is money. War is definitely good for the economy, and it's sad and it's disgusting that is the case, but unfortunately that is the case. Hey, Mountain Kayaker, my sister was killed by a drunk driver. These drunks are losers and don't care about anyone but themselves. You're right. Absolutely. Unfortunately, a lot of them, it's over and over and over and over again. They lose their license. They can't get insurance. And they just get in another vehicle and they just drive again. And they just unfortunately don't learn that lesson. A lot of them don't. Some do. But I'll tell you what, the way things are now with the penalties for drunk driving, it cost a freaking fortune. A fortune. Between drug and alcohol classes, having to deal with either being on a restricted license or having your license suspended or revoked. Also dealing with the fact that a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put the thing in the car where you have to blow in it to start the car. If you're having to deal with house arrest, let's say they put you on a house arrest, those ankle monitors that they put on people, The person has to pay for that. The government doesn't pay for that. The person has to pay for that. So it can get very, very expensive. To me, I've always been honest. I will go out for a ride on my Harley. I'll stop at one place. I'll have a beer. I'll drive some more. I'll go someplace else, and I may have another beer. I don't think I've ever had, like more than three. But I'm also 220 pounds, so it's like. But I'm not a big drinker anyway either in that case, So, but it's like, but I'm not going to get on that bike hammered and try to drive. It's scary enough to be out there on a bike stone sober with all the morons out there driving around trying to hit you, and how much you have to pay attention to be hammered on a motorcycle trying to drive. So, and again, because of being in the nursing profession, anything that you do in civilian life, it will affect your nursing license. So that's why I always said, it wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth it. So anyway, so that situation there, it could accelerate with what's going on there. Now, there's another hot spot right now that people are not probably talking about that needs to be paid attention to. Let's talk about the South China Sea. All right. Territorial waters, territorial islands that both Taiwan and China are claiming. Okay. And China right now is doing maneuvers in that area. And Taiwan has stated that they will defend their territory that is theirs. There's a big thing of what belongs to who. Okay. That could accelerate. And we are definitely going to be on the side of Taiwan. We're going to back Taiwan. So, that's another situation. My son was always the designated driver because he doesn't drink. There you go. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you can get somebody, even if you take turns, if you have a group, let's say you have 6 or 7 people that you all go out and you want to party together and have a good time. If you have that one person and just rotate it, Friday night, Joe's the designated driver. The next night, Bill's the designated driver. However you guys want to do it, that's the way to do it and be smart. It's just not worth it. First of all, it's not worth your life, number one. It's not worth killing somebody else because of stupidity, number two. And it is so, so expensive. I mean, you're talking minimum 10 grand or more if you get a DWI. I mean, it's just ridiculous amount. You got to pay the lawyers and then the fines and the fees, and you got to pay for the classes and everything else. It's just not worth it. It's just not. So call a taxi. It's going to be a lot cheaper in the long run, especially if you got, you walk out and it's just not worth it. That's just, that's my opinion on that. So, but, hey, Ed, also because of the new sanctions on Russia, Russia said they will retaliate. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, too. It's like these games that are continuously played by on both sides. And when I say both sides, I'm talking us, China, Russia, whoever the case may be. It's like they want to. John says in Japan and China are added in the water around Japan. Yeah, it's always disputed little pissy islands that it's amazing to me that no, this is mine, and this is, we're not going to allow this. But yeah, no, so somebody just Alicia just said, I hope we support Taiwan. We are going to definitely back Taiwan. That's definitely going to happen. So I think if we weren't backing Taiwan at this point, I think China would have already taken Taiwan back. That's my opinion, because they could do that easily. Christy Martinez says 108 immigrants tested positive for the CV after they were released. Wasn't that nice? And guess who will take care of them now? We will. Wonderful. Not to mention that Biden slapped Russia with sanction. Russia sent Iran some 20,000 Russian boots on the ground. I had not heard about that part. I knew that we did some sanctions on Russia. Now the talk is too, and I want you guys to think about this. The Olympics next year are going to be in Beijing. I believe it's Beijing. It's going to be in China, but maybe it's not Beijing. But I know that it's going to be in China. And now there's all this talk about, we need to not go and boycott it. I'm going to tell you what, and this is just my opinion on this, okay? These athletes, work for years and years and years to prepare for these Olympic Games. And because of political grandstanding and that nonsense, canceling different Olympics because of, well, because it's held here or it's held there, that's nonsense to me, in my opinion. I think you should still do it. You show your support for your country. Let China roll out the thing like they're the greatest thing going. Everybody knows that they're not. Everybody knows they're not. So who cares? They just want to put on the show. Let them put on the show. I mean, it's just it trips me out. It really does. But anyway, so what was I going to say? Oh, I wanted to talk about this too. Let's talk about tomorrow, March 4th, the original inauguration day, right? And there's all this talk. There's credible evidence. Hey, Deneen. On our local news tonight, they said there may be an attack on the White House and Trump reinstated. Have you heard anything? Just going to talk about that right now. Thank you very much for the donation. And I was going to talk about, actually, I was just starting to talk about that. So they're saying that there's credible information that there would be an attack tomorrow, because March 4th is the original time when the inauguration was going. And then it got changed to January 20th, right? 1937 is when they changed that. So normally it's always before then. It had always been March 4th. And there's been all this talk. Oh, Trump's going to be put back in. Don't believe any of that. I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't believe there was any kind of credible threat of the right-wing extremist. Ooh, scary, scary people. No, I don't buy it for a second. Congress is already canceled for tomorrow because they're talking about they're these credible threats. I mentioned this before, my friends, and pay attention when it's because it's like I watch all this stuff. The new boogeyman. It's not going to be Al Qaeda. It's not going to be Iranian nationals streaming across the border, setting up whatever they're planning on doing. It's white nationalist extremists. It is the new boogeyman is going to be domestic terrorist. That's the new boogeyman. And do not be surprised if right there, Jane Doe Lett just said it, a false flag event. You will see a false flag event happen, in my opinion, in the near future that will be blamed on domestic extremism. And so we got to remember what domestic extremism is, okay? It's not the Black Panthers or any of those other groups. You've seen that one group that I can't remember I don't even know what their names are, but armed to the teeth, marching where they shot one of their own members while they were marching. So that just shows you how well organized that they are. They're not the threat. They're nothing to worry about. It's those scary, scary white people that those extremists. Those are the ones we got to worry about. But it's just. It's a big game. It is a big game. And what does it come down to? I mean, let's think about this, okay? Who is the biggest threat to the power structure in Washington? Who is the biggest threat? White people. White people that have had enough of the nonsense. And there are a lot of black folks out there, and a lot of Hispanic folks feel the same exact way. Don't get me wrong. Hey, Christopher. I love your show and all people. Thank you very much, man. I do appreciate that. I thank you very much for that. But that's going to be the next thing. Did you hear the National Guard getting sick in Washington with bad food? I did hear that, Bryce. I did hear that as well. That the National Guardsmen, a lot of them were getting sick because they were given bad food, which is not good. But it's just people are going to go to a point. I'm going to give you my opinion on this. It's going to go to a point with this cancel culture that we have, this woke culture that we have, this, everything has to be politically correct. Everybody is offended. You heaven forbid that you say anything that goes outside of what they decide what is acceptable behavior and talk. You are going to be labeled. Okay. People that are preppers, people that want to live off grid, We are going to be put into that category of extremist because we want to be independent. Okay, that's not what they want. And I say they, I mean, I'm talking the powers that be, the powers that really truly run everything, not just the government, but big business as well. They don't want us to be independent. They don't want us to think for themselves. Why do you think that there has been, and this goes back to even like the 80s and 70s and that far back, the dumbing down of America is like what I like to call it. Okay, they make things easier and easier in the schools because half these kids are morons. Okay, and they want them to be morons. They want them to be stupid. They don't want. They don't teach them the different things that they should be teaching them about the Constitution and your rights and stuff like that. They don't want that. Okay, but there's a lot of people out there, my friends. A lot of folks out there that are woke, that are really paying attention to what is going on, and they see the manipulation and they don't like it. And one wrong move by these yahoos that are in Washington right now, okay, or anybody in that type of situation, it could push that over the edge. And it's a sleeping giant, in my opinion. There's a whole bunch of people out there. There's all this talk after the stimulus, right? In now I will definitely be doing a live stream once they pass the bill. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it and stuff like that once we get to that point, because some things are being taken out, other things are being put in. Now they're talking about lowering the threshold to get to 1,400. You have to have made less than 80,000 or lower instead of 100,000 or lower. So they're changing that up. All things are being changed. So once they have that all said and done, we will definitely do a stream on it. We'll talk about it and stuff like that. But the problem, what I think people are not realizing is, we are in big, big trouble in this country. We are in huge, huge debt. Watch what's going on. Gas prices are going up. Food prices are going up. The portion sizes of food are going down. They're not getting bigger. They're going smaller, and the prices are going up. It's frightening if you pay attention to it. And it's like they're going to distract you. What are they going to distract you with? Oh my God, we had to cancel 6 books from Dr. Seuss because, it shows these things in a bad light. Come on, really? We had to change and get rid of Mr. Potato Head. We can't call him Mr. Potato Head anymore. He's now just Potato Head. I mean, this is the distractions that are being done while really vicious, vindictive things are happening behind the scenes. These people, it's like, I'm trying to think, some superhero character, and it's a woman. It's not Supergirl. It's Captain America or some, I don't know what was one of them. I don't remember what one it was, but it was one of those characters. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, it's a female plays the part right now of the character, and they're saying that. No, it wasn't Captain Marvel. Thank you very much. Yes, Captain Marvel. Okay. So Captain Marvel right now is a woman, right? White woman. Oh my God. No. The woke culture has decided she needs to step aside, resign, and they need to put in a lesbian woman of color, hopefully a black woman is what they want. I'm like, what? First of all, it baffles my mind. It really, really does. It really baffles my mind, and it's just ridiculous. And I don't think that the woman's gonna, step down. I don't think she will. But it's just stupid, ridiculous stuff like that. That's in the news, right? Tiger Woods being in an automobile accident. That's like front page. Every hour was updates on the news. How's Tiger doing? What's going on? And stuff like that. Now, I respect Tiger Woods as an athlete. I think he's a great athlete, but a lot of people get in car accidents every single day. We're not getting hourly updates on their condition and what happened. And well, thank you. Old Forge said, "Why a lesbian?" I have no idea. But that's what they want. That's what the woke culture wants. They want a black woman who is a lesbian to be Captain Marvel. I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. cartoons are cartoons. Kid shows are for kid shows. They should not be pushing an agenda on children. When children get to a certain point, they're going to know where they stand as far as their own sexuality goes, and deal with it at that point. But to push this, you have to accept all of this or that or the other thing, and pushing it out there for kids and stuff. I just don't think that that's a healthy thing at all. Kids are so confused, and they go through so much anyway, growing up, and just hormones raging, and dealing with society, and dealing with our society with Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and and Twitter and all those other things. And and they're basing their lives on what people are saying about them, on these forums. There have been so many people that have been on YouTube through the years. I've been on YouTube for quite a while now. Very good. I think 11 years, something like that. But I have seen so many channels that I watched when I got started are gone. They don't even do it anymore. And a lot of them quit doing it because of the constant harassment by trolls or whatever the case may be. I've had my fair share too, as you guys, anybody that's watched this channel knows. They should use Michelle Obama. Oh my God, that's funny. But she's a man, so she can't play that part. She can't play the part of a lesbian woman, so that would not work. Just so you know. But anyway, it's amazing to me. It really truly is, and it just doesn't stop. It just does not stop. It continues on and on and on. Guys, I see we're at 1,300 people in the chat. We're at 536 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. And thank you ahead of time. I do appreciate that. Also, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, it is better for the channel as well. And so definitely do it for that reason as well, please. And also a third reason is I like to see a lot of thumbs up. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So thank you for doing that as well. Paul Tyler, did you get my seeds yet? I don't think I got any from Paul. It's not from a Paul. I got a bunch of seeds from Mr. Bean. Brian Bean sent me a bunch of seeds, but I haven't gotten anything else from anybody else yet. You know what? I'll go down and I'll check the P.O. box tomorrow and see if anything's in. I haven't been down there this week yet, so I definitely will do that. But yeah, do it for the algorithms. That's right. Man, they play enough games. That is for sure. But what false flags do you see coming? What I see coming, false flags, there will be an attack somewhere in this country. Robert Howell, even dating today is neutral selection of its fittest. Hard to find like-minded country and city folks. Good luck. Yeah, you know what? Very, very hard to find like-minded people. I mean, when you have people, thank you very much for that statement. Thanks for what you're saying too. If you go on a dating site, and this is just an example, I've checked it out, and it says, if you are a Trump supporter, you can pass on me. I mean, it's like, how stupid is that you would let somebody's political affiliation decide whether you would date somebody or not? So it's just, it's very, very sad, very, very sad, but, it's, what are you going to do? It's just, it's never going to change. It's always going to be the same. We just have to continue to get ready, continue to do what we need to do, because time is going to be short, in my opinion. I think we're going to see things continue to deteriorate, and the cost of everything is going through the roof. I think so false flag event. What do I think will happen? I think there'll be some kind of an attack somewhere in the United States. Okay. 9mm, $700 for 1,000 rounds. Wow. Yeah. It's getting really, really expensive to buy anything, so, but I think you're going to see there'll be some kind of an event that happens that will be blamed on white people, it'll definitely be blamed on white people. They'll use it as domestic extremism. It'll be, they'll make it look like it's a 3%er or an Oath Keeper group. That's my opinion. And I think you'll see that happen. I absolutely think you'll see that happen. And unfortunately, and then they're going to what they'll try to do after that is they will lock things down. They will retaliate with laws like they always do to try to restrict people of what they can do. But yes, I do see it's all, and at the end of the day, guys, I want you to think about this. It all comes down to one thing. It's all about the Second Amendment. They don't want you to be able to defend yourself. They don't want you to be able to rise up against them as they continue to enact stronger and tougher draconian laws. It's just the whole thing. Like, you look at what has gone on now, okay, with this whole mask mandate nonsense, okay? And I'm not going to get into that whole thing again, but it's all about control at the end of the day, and destroying people's livelihoods, destroying businesses, and those type of things. And not a good thing, not a good thing at all. So really quickly, I want to talk about my website, preppernurse1.com. On my preppernurse1.com website, we have the Prepper Nurse 1 community, which is a good resource that we set up for you guys to connect with like-minded people. It is free to join, does not cost anything. You do have to register because it is private. So definitely take advantage of that. Just if you want to go in there and read message boards or whatever the case may be, definitely take advantage of that. Also on the website, we have the Forefathers, which is the CBD and hemp store. And so definitely click on their link. You'll see it in the on my website. And if you click on it, it will take you to their website. If you decide to make a CBD or hemp purchase, make sure you use the discount code PrepperNurse1. You'll save yourself 15% on your purchase if you do that. So definitely take advantage of that. CBD products are a great thing to have, very good thing as far as, especially in a post-event. They have a lot of uses, so definitely take advantage of that. Also, on my website, if you go there, preppernurse1.com, you click on store, it'll drop down and you'll see Legacy Foods. We have the Legacy freeze-dried foods there, okay? It is a 25-year shelf life. It is GMO-free. It is made in the United States. It is also 25-year shelf life. I think I may have said that. It is the largest portion size of any of the other freeze-dried food companies as well. So definitely take advantage of that as well. And if you decide you want to make any kind of a larger purchase, contact me. I will work with you. Okay. So just putting that out there ahead of time. And again, also, I want to talk really quickly about, I've got a lot of emails about the Prepper Underground Railroad. Okay. Please be patient. I will get to everybody. It's going to take some time. Overwhelming response, which is a good thing, which what we wanted to see happen. So I will get to you. If you are also still, if you haven't heard about it yet and are interested in networking with other like-minded preppers with an underground railroad, contact me, preppernurse1@yahoo.com. Shoot me your number and I will call you. Okay, so definitely take advantage of that as well. All right, so. But hold on one second. I got to have a drink. But when it comes to what is going on, there's a lot to be concerned about. A lot to be concerned about with the activity over in the Middle East. Things ramping up over there, rocket attacks and all that type of stuff. It is definitely something to pay attention to, because that could amp up really and accelerate really quickly. With what is going on in the South China Sea, could also escalate into something very, very bad really, really quickly. We have a lot of our own ships over in that area as well right now because of everything that is happening. China is playing the victim, which is what they like to try to do. They want to also try to, dictate who can go where. They continue to make, islands in that area as well. So yeah, a lot of interesting things happening, but people are, I think we have seen a huge resurgence in prepping. Prepping doesn't have the same negative connotation that it did before, and I think that's a good thing. I think if we present prepping in a positive way, which is how we should be presenting prepping, when you have shows that, make preppers look like they're crazy or they're nuts or they're prepping for a singular event, which is never the case as a prepper. We prep for whatever is going to happen. That's why we prep. It's hedging our bets. It's taking care of our families. It's being ready for whatever's going to happen. Because again, and I've said it, tomorrow is unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen that's going to affect you directly, the individual. None of us do. None of us do. So if we're prepared for that loss of job, sickness, death in the family, like the needy homesteader, they didn't expect that. They went out to dinner. They were going to go and have an enjoyable evening as a family. And then on the way home, their life has changed forever. Very, very sad situation. But that happens every single day. I've said this before. We are all going through something. Everybody watching this channel, you all have something going on in your lives. That's a fact. Okay. So again, try to be respectful of other people, realize that people are going to have a bad day. That happens, we all have a bad day. I have them too. I mean, I'm very fortunate that most of my days are pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with that, but there is so much stuff going on out there that could, like that, change all of our lives in an instant, and not for the better, not for the better at all. Again, they don't want people to be independent. They don't want people to be free. They don't want people thinking for themselves. They want people to do as they are told. They want people to watch the news, to sit down and watch the news and believe everything that they are being told because they call it programming for a reason. It's programming for a reason because they're being fed what they're told. All these broadcasters, I don't know if you guys saw the video, and I thought it was really, really telling. Really, really telling. Hold on a second. Ed, did you see or hear? Hold on a second. Cuomo saying that cities don't comply. He will just have their budget. I didn't see that part of it. I did see with Cuomo that he got on there and was like a fish on a hook is what I thought. It's slimy, talking about, deflecting what he had done and saying, well, I've never touched anybody. Well, he just, like I said, I still think he needs to answer for what he's done with the nursing homes, way more important than any kind of sexual harassment allegations. That's what I'm more concerned about. And you're not hearing about that. You're seeing this distraction with the allegations of, sexual harassment. So, but preppers don't need to depend on the government. And that's another problem that they don't want, Judy. That's a very, very good statement. Preppers, like I said, power companies don't want you to be power independent. They don't want you to have your own solar systems. They don't want you to have your own hydro systems. They don't want you to have your own wind systems. They want you dependent on them. It's just like these fly-by-night companies that go out there and they're putting in solar systems into people's homes and they think, oh, wow, cool. Now I'm going to be independent. No, they're all grid tied. All those systems are grid tied. And then if you tell them, well, I don't want to be grid tied, a lot of them won't do it because they're in direct connection with the power companies. It's all a big game. It is all a big game. And again, to me, and you guys know, I have my own independence power system, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have it any other way. It is one of the best decisions that I made. People have asked me, what do I have? I was just had a conversation before the stream started. I was talking to Joe from St. Bernard Acres, okay? And, people ask me, what do I have tied up into my solar system? It's more than $20,000 is what I've put into my solar system, okay? But here's the thing that I think people don't realize. I didn't go out and drop 20K, boom, just like that. I slowly developed my system over many years. It took me a while. You know, I started out with marine deep cycle batteries, right? So I went from the marine deep cycle batteries and a 12-volt system, our first winter that we were here, realized really quickly that was not going to cut it. So we went from that to a 24-volt system using the Trojan L16E batteries, right? Those batteries were much more expensive than the marine deep cycle batteries. The marine deep cycle batteries were what, 70, $75 a piece. The Trojan L16E batteries, the lead acid batteries were $260 a piece. Okay. And then we went from those batteries, we upgraded again to now we have the lithium ion batteries, which go for $800 a piece. Not cheap at all. But again, as you work on your system, you tweak it, you figure out what works, you figure out what doesn't work. Charge controllers, inverters, as you better your system, you make it more efficient, it's going to cost more money. That's just the way it is. And so people don't realize that, and they need to think about that, okay? And so, it takes time. It did not happen overnight. Now, last year I did go and purchase the new batteries. That was like a huge expense last year. What did I pay? I'm trying to think. Well, it was 8 batteries. So, do the math at $800 a piece. So a lot of money went into those batteries last year, but I knew I was going to be running 2 homes. I was running my home and my mom and my sister's place. So, that's where we're. Oh, so let's do this. Time is getting away from me. So before we do this next thing, I'm going to ask one more time here again. Well, I'll ask again, but for right now, I'm going to ask if you have not shot a thumbs up yet. We're at 1344 in the chat. We're at 684 in the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please shoot a thumbs up for showing support for the channel. And I do appreciate you doing that. So thank you ahead of time. Again, also, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have with comments and thumbs up or thumbs down, which we obviously prefer thumbs up, it really does help with the channel as well. So thank you for that as well. Again, and then the third reason, I like to see a lot of thumbs up. So that's being honest. So like I said, it's a game for me. So the more thumbs up we get, I just think it's fun. So thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So let's do the egg count. What do you guys think we ended up with eggs today? Now, I think I told you yesterday we ended up with 8 eggs yesterday, and Thickneck actually laid yesterday. So that was nice to see. So let's see what you guys got for a count here for today. All right. If you have the same exact guess as Echoes in the Forest with 7 eggs, then you are absolutely correct. We ended up with 7 eggs today. So pretty happy about that. We had a pretty mild day. I think it got up into the low 40s here today. And no, Thickneck did not lay again today. So we got her egg yesterday, and that was it for right now. Now, you guys got to remember, too, out of my hens, right now I have 2 hens on the other side recovering. They're recouping, and so they're not laying at all because all their energy is actually going into healing themselves. So they're not laying at all. So, but that and no, I still have not taken care of those 2 roosters. I do have to make one more chance of a phone call, and if that doesn't happen, then they're going to go. Let's see, Maria Beers. Oh, hold on a second. First thing when entering a chat, I give a thumbs up. I mean, it's the least I can do for all that you do for us. I never miss a live chat or a video. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Hey, Nick, the virus is so complicated because it's confusing people emotionally and making people think it's harmless when half the country is overreacting about things. The virus may not be anything near. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Now I'm losing that again. Let's see. About things that the virus may not have anything near be as infected, but are making the time-consuming effort to stop food and services. Thank you very much for that very generous donation, Nick, as well, and thank you for the statement. I think what I think people are missing the point of a lot of things too. When you have production plants that are down because people are not working because of restrictions and everything that's going on, that affects everything. That really is it affects what's being put out there. Now I know a lot of people are saying, well, there's a lot of food out there. The shelves are full, everything is there. Well, that's right now, and yeah, that's great, but that doesn't mean. I missed two super chats, Maria. Okay, hold. Let me go back and look. I don't think I did, but if I did, I will. No, I got yours and on the other and Nick's, Maria. I did them both. But I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate both of your donations. So thank you for that. And yeah, I didn't miss any at all. But food is not going to go down. Food prices are not going to go down. So I would absolutely encourage you guys. I haven't missed any J. Okay, I didn't think that I did. Um, Food prices are going to do nothing but go up. So if you can stockpile stuff now and get yourself in a position where you are ready for whatever. Again, guys, what's going to happen, honestly, if you think about this, okay? It's not like we're going to get a warning. It's not, okay, it's not like, okay, so let's break it down really simple. There's a hurricane coming. There's a hurricane coming, and it's going to hit Tallahassee, Florida, or Homestead. Let's say Homestead, Florida. Hurricane's coming. It's bearing down on Homestead, Florida. Hurricane's coming. The number of people that will do nothing with a lot of forewarning and a lot of knowledge ahead of time that this event is coming, right? Or they wait to the very last second and they scramble around like a chicken with their head cut off. That's when they'll do something. When, oh my God, it's here. That's when they do something. Okay. With everything going on, if something major does happen, if something major pops off, there's not going to be any warning. This is what I think a lot of people don't realize. There's going to be no warnings. 1 minute, the lights are going to be on. The next minute, the lights are going to be off. That's how that type of thing happens. And boom, it changes everything in a heartbeat. And my wish is that all of you out here that are watching are going to be out here and getting things squared away and helping yourselves and being ready for these type of events, because when it happens, guys, I'm telling you right now, there's no more going to the store. There's no more going out for that last minute run. It's gold prices. What are your thoughts? I don't invest in gold at all. Not at all, because it's too hard to get rid of. You can only buy it from certain venues. And in a post event, there's a couple things that you definitely cannot eat. And one of them is gold. You cannot eat gold. And the cost of gold at $1,600 an ounce, if you take $1,600 and let's say you take 200 of that and you put it into silver. So you have some tradable commodity, right? And then you take the rest of that money that you would put into that ounce of gold, say another $1,400, and you put that into goods, food, supplies, medical supplies, warm clothing, ways to purify water. That's what I think would be the most important thing to do. The most important thing. I would never invest in gold. Now, if you are very, very wealthy and you have 10 years supply of food and water in a complete setup in an underground bunker with your whole air filtration and everything in place, and you could survive under there without coming above ground for 10 plus years, and you want to buy gold, go for it. That's my advice. But until you get to a point where you are really truly comfortable and ready where you stand with what you're trying to accomplish, gold would not be my first option at all. I think you should have some junk silver. I think that's really important to have. I have talked about that in the past. I have junk silver. I think it's really important to have because, again, you need to have something. Paper dollars, a dollar bill, $10 bill, 20, 100, 50, it's going to be worth nothing in a post event. but silver is still going to retain its value. Okay, gold will retain its value too, but it's just not cost effective in the big picture. It's much more cost effective to have junk silver, and that's where I'm at with that. I would rather have silver because it's a lot less expensive. If you want to take, so think about this, and let's say you want to invest in a precious metal. You can buy 1 ounce of silver, or you can take that $1,600 or whatever it is right now, because I don't even know what it's at right at the moment, and instead buy a whole bunch of silver, dimes, quarters, 50-cent pieces, silver dollars. You're going to have a lot more tradable stuff there because unless you're flaking off that gold or you have it in little tiny fractions, it's just not cost effective. It's just not. So barter materials and services will be worth far more than gold and silver. Absolutely, they will. Absolutely, and that's where I'm at. But I think junk silver is the way to go. That's my opinion. Again, some people want to get into gold and do that. That's fine. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying you have to look at the big picture. What is more cost effective? And that's kind of where I'm at with that. Okay. So, but yeah, so no food or money. I missed that comment. I'm sorry. My rice will be worth more than any silver or gold. Oh, you're absolutely right. Again, long-term food storage definitely needed in your preps. Canned goods absolutely need to have them in your preps. And when you buy canned goods, buy things that you will eat. Okay, buy things that you will eat. You should have canned meat. Absolutely, I think you should have canned meat. But if you don't eat Spam and you don't like Spam or Vienna sausages, I'm just using a couple things as an example. If you don't like them, why would you prep them up? If you don't like sardines, why would you prep up sardines? Okay. Now, the oils and the fats in the fish, I think is a great thing to have in your preps. Do I think you should have them in your preps? I absolutely do. We're going to need that fat. Okay. We're going to need that fat. But again, so I think you should have canned goods. I think you definitely should have long-term food storage with the freeze-dried food. Definitely have your beans, your rice, those type of things as well. Sugar, honey. Honey is so important, and local honey is probably the most important that you can get. That hasn't been, not store-bought. Don't buy store-bought honey. Get it from a local honey dealer. So I can show you. Actually, I got one right here. Of course I got. Okay, hold on a second. I got to take it out of here the other way. So I bought this earlier this year. There's 5 pounds of honey right there. All right, it's a local beekeeper that makes the honey, and the guy's in his 80s, and he's still doing it. I think that's awesome. So I think it's important to have. And, that's worth its weight in gold right there. In a post event, first of all, it's a sweet. Sweets, you're not going to be able to get sweets. People are still going to have, that sweet tooth. That's important to think about too. But again, now if you store chocolate goes to powder. It turns to crap, okay? But honey is not going to. Honey's awesome. Honey is awesome. So definitely recommend that. So, and I have a tree that has a big beehive in it. Oh, that's awesome, Delbert. That is awesome. Yeah, now I do have my beehive. I need to get that set up too. I'm hoping to do that this year as well. So that's what I definitely want to do. Yes, local honey helps with allergies. Absolutely. Margaret Norris just said that, and she's 100% right. So if you eat local honey, it really does help with allergies. So I definitely encourage you to do that as well. And so especially if you do have allergies, M&M's last 40 years plus. Sherry just said that. Oh, that's cool. Well, I'm talking like candy bars. I've had candy bars before, and I've stashed them away. And when I've come back, they were powder. So I've had that happen. So, yep, honey is also an antibacterial. It's good for wounds. And again, if you had a sweet tooth, Good thing to have in a post event. Absolutely good thing to have in a post event. So, no, I love honey. That is definitely one of my go-to things, especially if I drink tea. I put honey in my tea. So, never had chocolate long enough to find out. Tony Draper just said, "Yeah, I hear you. I hear you." Well, the honey in the States and honey in or I mean, chocolate in the States and the chocolate in Europe, like Swiss chocolate, that's real chocolate. Oh, so hold on, guys. I got to show you real quick here. Hey, hey, put your face up here so people can see you. Say hello. And there's Mr. Luce is laying out there. Mr. Max is there. So there's all the animal sightings, guys. I apologize. They're always here. I always have them around. So they're my babies. Anyway, yeah, I do got to get the bees. I definitely want to have my own honey production and get that going. I got to actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact that gentleman there and go down and sit down and talk with him. So how long will unopened beer last? You know what? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if it would go bad over time or not. I've never had beer around that long to worry about that. Oh my God, that's too funny. But anyway, guys, I definitely want to encourage you to continue to prep, continue to get ready, because when whatever event happens, it's not going to be we're going to get zero warning. So the more prepared we are for it now, the better we are. Like when I have a gas can that goes empty, I immediately take it to the gas station and refill that gas can. I do not wait until I have 5 or 6 or 7 of them that are empty. No way. No way. That's asking for problems. So, and put your chocolate into jars, dry can them. They will last for 5 years. Patty Goodwin just said. All right. Well, thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that information. That I did not know. Yeah, I'm sure the beer goes bad after a while. I would imagine. That's what, like, for me. It's in my preps. I have alcohol. I have all kinds of different alcohol. From grain alcohol, vodka. Vodka I use. That's going to be an antibiotic and stuff like that as well. So I do have. You can make a tincture out of the vodka as well. So I have a lot of that on hand. I got a lot of cheap vodka for that. I have good vodka for me to drink, but but again, it's like alcohol is another prep item as far as I'm concerned. Very, very barterable item. And in a post event, you might want to sit down and have a drink here and there. So, it's a good thing to have. So, but it's again just another item that you would want to have to prepare and set aside and stuff like that. So I think that's important. Spices are hugely important. BCAD Infinity, she says ginger. Hold on a second. I want to read the rest of that. Let's see. Where did that go? I think she said ginger. Oh, here we are. Ginger, cinnamon, and tarmac. Or he said, I'm sorry. But yeah, spices are very, very important. You need to be able to change up the taste of food. If you have a ton of rice, I have a ton of rice. I eat rice. I like rice. Okay. But if you're eating it every single day as your base of your meal, you need to change up that taste of that. So definitely spices are very important. Another thing that I also think is very important to have is gravy mixes. Turkey gravy, chicken gravy, pork gravy, beef gravy. Anything that you can do that you can change the taste is a huge, huge thing that's going to make such a difference in a post event. You're not going to want to eat the same thing the same way day after day after day. Beans are great to have, a lot of protein in beans. They have a 30-year shelf life, so they're a great thing to have in your preps. So I think it's important to have those as well. But there's just so many things. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. If you're a brand new prepper, start simple. 2 weeks worth of food and water. Then make sure you purchase for $20 at Walmart a mini Sawyer. That would be my advice to anybody. If you're just starting out, you should definitely have a mini Sawyer. It's a way to purify 100,000 gallons of water, and having purified water is going to be a huge, huge thing. Coffee is a great barter item as well. Yes, very, very good barter item. Twinkies live, Twinkie lives matter. There you go. I thought bald lives matter. Come on. Where's the support for bald lives matter? Anyway, again, really quickly, I'm going to ask for a thumbs up again. Let's see if we can get this close to 1,000 before we jump off here tonight. We're at 823 and a thumbs up, and we're at 1340 for the people in here. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do that to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. Also, again, it really does help with the algorithms as well. So the more interaction that we have with that, it really makes a difference as well. So thank you for doing that as well. Also, again, the third reason is I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. So that is, of course, another reason to do it. So I appreciate you guys doing it for that. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that as well. Ed, Mr. Clean is now dubbed a white supremacist. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, he's probably is, you know, because he's got his head shaved and he's white, so he has to be. Oh my God. Rule of threes, exactly. That's a very good point. 3 minutes without oxygen, right? Three out. Let's see. Hold on a second. 3 hours for exposure to the elements, and 3 weeks without food. 3 days without water. I'm sorry. 3 minutes with 3 minutes without oxygen. 3 minutes without oxygen. 3 days without water. 3 weeks without food, and 3 hours for exposure. That's also part of it as well. So that's definitely the rule of threes. So the most important thing is going to be making sure that you have shelter, depending on what the weather is first, then procuring water. That's got to be, because if it's cold out, you definitely, shelter has to be a priority. Depending if you're in a more tepid climate, then obviously water would be the number one thing. Because again, so yeah, 3 seconds to panic. It's about right too. It's all about being calm in situations, and if you put yourself in a position where you don't panic when that time comes, that is hugely, hugely important. We don't want to panic. We really, truly don't, because that does no good to anybody. And all it's going to do is possibly hurt you, your family, or the people around you. And that's not good. That is the time for calm, being rational, realizing what the situation is. And here's the thing I want you to think about, guys. Lights go off tomorrow. The number of people that are going to sit in their home for the first 3 days of a lights out event, not realizing, let's say it's a worldwide event, lights are out everywhere and they're not coming back on. The first 3 days, a lot of people are just going to sit home and wait for the lights to go back on. That's all they're going to do. They're going to be like, oh, they'll come back on. We're just going to sit here. We're fine. We're going to just sit here. We're going to wait. That's what a lot of people are going to do. Okay. Preppers, off-gridders, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to realize that something is good, especially if communications are down. If you can't get on your phone, if you cannot get, if the power's down, you're not going to have access to the internet. You're going to see action taking place at that point. A lot of action taking place, as it should be. People are going to be getting ready, doing what they have to do, getting to the locations where they need to get to. That's important. When you realize, if you have a bug out location that you're going to go to, or you have a group that you're planning on working with, once you realize that, oh my God, this is the time, this is the event, it's time to get out of Dodge. It is time to get out of Dodge early, because you don't want to be on those roads with everybody that is panicked, that is unprepared. There would be so much violence, people taking from other people. Again, think about how things are today with rule of law. Look at how people are to each other right now with rule of law. Now think about how bad it would be in a post-event with no rule of law, with no consequences for your actions. So if you have something that I want and I want to take it from you, nobody's coming after me. Nobody's going to arrest me. So I'm going to take it because I'm bigger, I'm stronger, and I have the firepower. And if you try to resist me, then I'm going to hurt you. And that's how the mentality is going to be in a post-event. It's scary. It is scary. So we need to be in that mindset. I'm going to tell you, well, like I said, I've said this 100 times, and I'll probably say it 100 more before I'm done. When a post-event happens, I plan on hunkering down. There's plenty of people that are coming to me, some of them not very far away, and we will be working together. We will do what we have to do to survive. I am not planning on going out and doing any foraging or not foraging. Foraging for wild edibles and stuff, we would absolutely be doing that type of thing. But we're not going to be going out on raiding parties and doing that. I want to lay low, try to ride it out as long as we possibly can. If a threat comes and tries to do harm to us, we will deal with that at that point. That's how I plan on handling it. You got to be smart. It's not about trying to be out there being Joe Rambo and thinking you're, a tough guy. It's not what it's about. It's about surviving, and not just surviving, but thriving while you survive. I think that's important too. So the Alamo, yeah, right. Todd Hendricks, new name for my place, Alamo. But again, I'm not locked in here so hard that I would not bug out if I had to. That I will put that out there right now. If there was a big enough threat coming, and if you have people in place and scouts and people watching, you're going to know that there's threats coming. And if they're there, then you got to meld into the forest and disappear. Then you do what you have to do. So, that's John Rambo. That's right. That's right. So, but anyway, guys, let's do this right now because with the time is just absolutely going by really, really fast tonight. It's already 10 after 9. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We are all over the world. We are a huge family. We're a huge network of people, and we are the ones that truly can make a difference. When the time comes, we can make a difference now and in a post event. Where is everybody from tonight? Where is everybody at? We got Minnesota. I like how they start out slow and then all of a sudden it'll be bam, 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 bam. Dayton, Ohio, Connecticut, Fort Myers, Florida, Nowhere, Oklahoma, Alberta, Nowhere, Oklahoma, Washington, Central Illinois, Oxford, Pennsylvania, Colorado, Florida, California, Cape Cod, Texas, Connecticut, New Jersey, Ontario, Canada, Arizona, Beech Grove, Indiana, Colorado, Michigan, Pittsburgh, PA, New Zealand, Manchester, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Zephyr Hills, Arizona, Southern Maryland. Let's see, we have Norway, very nice, Alabama, Columbus, Ohio, Buffalo, New York, Jacksonville, Florida, Savannah, Georgia, Newfoundland, Buffalo, New York again, West Kentucky, Puerto Rico, Miami, Florida, North Carolina, Paris, Texas, Quebec up in Canada. Let's see, we have Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, London, Lakeland, Florida. We have North Carolina again. We have Alabama, Central Kentucky, the UK, Nevada, Dallas, Texas, Edgewater, Florida, Morgan County, Ohio, New Jersey. We have Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Nebraska, Farmington, Missouri, Endicott, New York. We have London, Massachusetts, Morgan County, Ohio, Somewhere, Oklahoma, Atlanta, Georgia. So again, Scotland, the outer limits of New Jersey. We have Virginia, Arnold, Missouri, Springwater, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Northern California, North Carolina. So again, guys, we're all over the place. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge network of people. We really, truly can make a difference now and in the post-event. Hey, Judy Dowell, Pleasant Plain, Ohio. Thank you very much for the donation, and thank you for letting us know where you're at. So yeah, we're like I said, we're a big family. We really truly are. We are legion because we are many. We are part of the Prepper Nurse One family, and that's an awesome thing. I think it's an awesome thing. And there's LB in New York. I used to live out there, as you guys know. We have Troy, Vermont, Oklahoma, Gainesville, Georgia, Southwest Ontario, Canada. Very nice. Um, Really quickly, I want to mention the family once again, the needy homesteader. Guys, if you would put the link up again really quick, JJ, if you would throw that link up there again to their website. Very horrific car accident. Her husband was killed. She was really injured badly, and she's going to be convalescing for quite a while. Both of her children were also, two of her children were injured in the crash as well. So they have a GoFundMe account. So I've already donated myself. I'm going to ask you guys if you would do it as part of our community, is to go over and make whatever donation that you could possibly make to help them out. And that's very much appreciated. Hey, Red55, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Again, they're going to need some help for a while, and she's going to be recovering for quite a while. Like I said, it's not a good situation. So there you go. JJ put it up, and North Shore Preparedness put it up as well. So that's their link to their homes or their page. Their last video that they just did on their March 2nd, it has the link to the donation, the GoFundMe page. So definitely go show them some support. I think it's important that we support each other if we can. I think it's a huge thing. And we're, like I said, we are a big family. And I think a lot of people don't really realize that, but we really truly are. So, how much junk silver? It depends on what you're comfortable with, to be honest with you. The price of silver has gone up as well, so it's not as cheap as it was. And, that's a couple $100, maybe $200-300 worth of silver if you can do it. And again, here's the best part: you don't have to do it all at once. You go out and you buy a couple dimes, you buy a couple quarters, and then a month or two down the road, you do the same thing again. And before you know it, you have a lot of silver and stuff built up. So I just think it's a great thing to have. It's going to retain its value no matter what the dollar does. And again, I think it's really, really important to have in your preps. That's me. The pennies, it's copper, right? The older pennies are copper. So, they're actually worth more than a penny. So if you can get older pennies, sit on them as well. It's not a bad thing to have. So I just want to put that out there as well. Last push here, guys. We're at 930 on the thumbs up. Let's see if we can get that close to, I don't know if we're going to get it close to 1,000, but let's see if we can get it up close to 1,000. Just for fun. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 before we sign off here. So if you would shoot that thumbs up to show support for the channel, I do appreciate it, and thank you. And also, again, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel as well. So I thank you for that reason as well. And the last thing is I like to see a lot of thumbs up. So that's the other reason I like to do it. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you as well. Get old pennies and walking liberties. Yeah, older pennies are great to have. Like I said, they're copper, and copper is actually worth more than the penny. The new pennies out there are not copper anymore. They're not doing it that way. So, Oh, it's over 200,000 now. Awesome. That is great. Lady Prepper just said for Heather and her kids, it's up over 200,000 now. They had a goal of 100,000, but again, like I said, she's going to have expenses for a while. She's lost the income from her husband because he lost his life. So I'm happy to be part of it and to help as well. I think it's important. Like I said, I really, really think it's important. So. I want to thank my moderators who are absolutely awesome. You guys are the best. Keeping the chat clean. Thank you so much for doing what you guys do. It's very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. And that means a lot to me. It really, really does. And the fact that you guys come all the time and you're here and you're consistent, I do appreciate that. Also, I want to thank all of you guys for being here in the chat too. These chats happen because you're here. and we have good crowds, we have good discussions, and I think that that is awesome. So thank you so much for that as well. Um, Remember, guys, we are all in this together. We really truly are. We are one race called the human race, and as soon as we can figure that out, the things that we could accomplish working together is just absolutely amazing. It really truly is. We could get so much done, and I think we should try to do that. I really do. And we got to stop with the race, the religion, and all that other nonsense, and realize that we are being manipulated. Who cares what religion you are? Who cares what race you are? It's what kind of person you are. If you are a decent person, your color should not matter at all. Because that's not how I measure people. I measure people individually, because as I've always said, a-holes come in all colors. So they're out there. I've dealt with them. So, I would rather deal with decent people. If you're a decent person, we're down. We're good. So also, guys, remember STD, step, thing, and day. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to do in life, if you work at it methodically, it will happen. It will come together. You just got to put the effort in. You set realistic goals, realistic expectations, and you work to get them done. And stay away from those negative people that tell you what you can and cannot accomplish, because they didn't do anything in their life because they were too lazy or blame somebody else for their problems or their lot in life. Stop blaming other people. Look in the mirror. That's the only one that can stop you. That's it. And you can do it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what background you come from. That's it. You got to make it happen. You got to want it. You got to want it more than anybody else. And I think that's a mindset that is lacking in today's society. That drive. You got to have that drive. Okay. So what are we at? 984 and a thumbs up. We need 16 more to get to 1,000, guys. So please, if you could do that really quickly so we can get up over 1,000 thumbs up, that would be awesome. And thank you. Fantastic talking with you guys. I love these chats. It is just a big family getting together, sharing ideas, talking, and I think that's really, really cool, and I really do appreciate it. And you guys are the best. You really are. I'm very, very fortunate to have you as part of the Prepper Nurse One family, because that's what we really are. We really are, and that's what people really need to grasp. They really need to grasp that. So there we are. We're over 1,000 thumbs up. That's awesome. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Stay focused. Keep prepping. Keep getting ready. Strive to make things happen. That's all you got to do. Be as ready as you possibly can. I will hammer that until I'm blue in the face. Keep prepping, keep getting ready. Don't be a victim. That's the important thing. Don't be a victim. Okay. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse One out for now.